Hey guys, welcome back to Affordable. Now today I wanted to make this video reviewing what happened this year with Barcelona in the transfer window. Obviously things went wrong with Barcelona. I would say that they weren't as bad as they could have possibly been. I mean, first they lose a star in Neymar, and then they couldn't sign any of the targets that they had in the transfer window. And then the signings that they did, they basically really overpaid for, I would say, for almost every single player. So definitely things went wrong. So I want to go over a timeline of how I think things happened this year. And I know that yesterday some of the front office came out and gave a press conference. I'm basically trying to explain what happened in the transfer window, and some of the things that they say doesn't match with the things that I'm gonna say. And the reason for that, I think, is because basically they're lying. Honestly, I think it's that simple. I mean, I just think that they're basically just lying to the fans and basically trying to save their jobs on Barcelona. Everything that I'm gonna say in this video is because I did research on it. A couple of news outlets reported this information, so that is why I'm going with this. Also, I'm not someone that really goes with everything the newspapers say. Like, whenever I read something, I try to read for different outlets and trying to figure out what is really true. So that is what I'm basing this information that I'm gonna tell you guys on. So to start with, let's start with the timeline, and obviously everything starts at the end of the season. And Barcelona basically finished the season by not being able to win La Liga. And they also see Real Madrid doing something that has never been done before, and that is to win a back-to-back Champions League. The only thing that Barcelona is able to win is the Spanish Cup, and also at that point Luis Enrique says that he's gonna leave the club. So basically the front office is facing the transfer window when they gotta find a new coach. They need to reinforce the team, and also knowing that some of their biggest stars are obviously getting older, and Iniesta and Messi, so they need a plan for the future. So right away Barcelona is able to sign a new coach on Valverde. There was not that much competition as far as the coach goes. I would say that the only other coach that they were looking at it was probably Sampaoli, and the way that he ended the season with Sevilla, that kind of pushed Barcelona to go for Valverde. So Valverde becomes the coach. So after that, what they're trying to do is to reinforce the team, and I would say that here's probably where their problems comes. Now the first target they have in mind is Verratti. That would have been a great signing because he would have fit perfectly. He would have been a future replacement for Iniesta. He would have reinforced the middle of the field, so that was definitely what they were looking for. The problem with this signing was that basically Barcelona went into the transfer window without money. Simple as that. And I said this before, Barcelona went into the transfer window with probably around 70 million euros as far as the budget goes. They didn't have enough money to sign Verratti, because when they went and asked PSG for a price for Verratti, PSG's response was you have to pay us 100 million euros. And looking back at it, I would say it was a good price for Verratti. 100 million euros is not a bad price, especially how the market closed at the end of the transfer window. 100 million euros for Verratti seems like a great price, honestly. The problem was that Barcelona didn't have the money to make the transfer happen. They only had around 70 million euros, and PSG was not taking anything below 100 million euros. The player kind of tried to force the transfer to Barcelona, but like I said again, PSG was setting the price. And I think at some point Verratti's team or his manager noticed that Barcelona didn't have the money to make the transfer, and that is why Verratti at the end ended up apologizing to PSG because he tried to force a transfer to Barcelona. Another reason why you know that this is true is because Emery, the coach of PSG, and Valverde, the coach of Barcelona, they were caught up by cameras talking about the Verratti transfer. And Emery says that yes, Barcelona really wanted Verratti, but they never made a real offer. They never really went after Verratti. And the reason for that is because, again, Barcelona did not have the money to go for Verratti. Simple as that. So that kind of ended the whole Verratti negotiations. They didn't have the money. PSG set the price at 100 million euros. They never backed down from that. So that ended everything. Now, I would say that here's where my timeline might be a bit wrong. I don't know what happened first, Verratti coming out and publicly apologizing to PSG, or Messi's wedding. One of the two happened first. It doesn't really change much on my timeline, but I kind of don't really know what happened first. So then we move on to Messi's wedding. This happens on June 30th. So the whole time, basically, Barcelona wasted this whole time trying to get Verratti, even knowing that they didn't have the money to get him, but they wasted the whole time with that transfer. So on June 30th, Messi gets married, and obviously he invites all his friends, all of his teammates from Barcelona, and some of the staff as well. And obviously one of the guys that is invited into the wedding is obviously Neymar, one of his best friends. So Neymar attends to Messi's wedding, and there he tells his teammates and some of the staff that he's leaving to PSG, that he has the idea of leaving to PSG. And Piqué came out and publicly said this in a press conference, that Neymar had the idea of leaving to PSG since Messi's wedding, that is when he told everybody.
Si he entendido bien, desde la boda de Messi sabíais que Neymar iba a salir del Barça, que se iba a ir al PSG. Bueno, eso es lo que nos comunicó y lo que Dani también comunicó en rueda de prensa el otro día o en zona mixta. Fue Ney quien convenció a Dani y Dani ficha por el PSG pues mucho antes.
Here's the thing that I was saying that is different from what the front office said yesterday in the press conference. Yesterday they came out and said that they didn't find out about Neymar leaving until August 1st when he made it official that he's leaving to PSG. But then he kind of contradicts himself in the press conference because he says that he got a message through WhatsApp saying that Neymar's leaving. So it's like, wait, which one is it? Is it August 1st when Neymar made it official? Is it July 16th when he said that he got the message through WhatsApp? And also, if they didn't know, why did the vice president of Barcelona came out and during the USA tour when he got asked about, oh, what do you think about Neymar leaving to PSG? And he said, I'm 200% sure that Neymar's gonna stay.
Se está hablando mucho del futuro de Neymar. No sé si pueden asegurar al 100% que Neymar no se va a ir del Barça este verano.
Al 200%.
Why did he said that? I mean, throughout the whole time, people were saying that Neymar's leaving, and the front office was kind of denying and saying that Neymar's gonna stay. So what? Did that never happen? I think it's just dumb for them to say that they were surprised about Neymar leaving Barcelona. And also, what type of front office is that? That the players know that Neymar is gonna leave, the staff knows that Neymar is gonna leave, but yeah, somehow you never find out. So I don't believe the front office at all when they say that they didn't know that Neymar was gonna leave. I think that what happened was that they found out on July 1st that Neymar was gonna leave, so they had a meeting of what to do with Neymar, and they're gonna try to convince him to stay in Barcelona or are gonna let him go to PSG. Obviously, the only way to convince Neymar to stay was probably to give him a new contract, and like I've said this before, if they give a new contract to Neymar, they have to give a new contract to Iniesta, to Piqué, to Busquets, to Messi, so they didn't want to do that. So they figured that if Neymar leaves, they will get 222 million euros for the buyout clause of Neymar, and with that money they can rebuild the team. They can probably go out there and get the midfielder that they wanted, they can find a young player to replace Neymar, and on top of that they can probably go out there and get another defender. So basically they decide that hey, if we sell Neymar we can rebuild the team for the future, so it wouldn't be such a bad team to lose Neymar. And that is what they decided because they knew that they didn't have the money to rebuild the team without selling Neymar, so they decided to let Neymar go. Now I also want to say that I really don't blame the front office for Neymar leaving Barcelona. I think that they could have done something to keep Neymar, but at the end of the day it would have cost them more money and probably put the team in the worst place that it already was economy wise. So selling Neymar was not really the issue that I have. My problem was with the way that they did it. I honestly feel that they could have got a better deal for Neymar. I know 222 million sounds great, and I did a video actually about this when I was talking about top 5 players that can replace Neymar, and in that video I said that a better way for them to sell Neymar is if they could have added another player into the deal. Basically not make PSG pay the buyout clause of 222 million euros, but maybe add someone like Di Maria into the deal, maybe add even Verratti, and you will not tell me the PSG wouldn't make a deal where they basically will be getting Neymar and maybe they give Barcelona 150 million euros for Neymar, but you can add Verratti into the deal. What PSG would have won in that case is one, avoid problems with the financial fair play rules, some of the problems that they seem to be having because UEFA have said already that they're investigating PSG. They will also avoid paying 100 million euros in taxes, and on top of that they get Neymar. But Barcelona will be getting Di Maria or Verratti in the deal, and they will also not be putting a big ask on them saying that hey, you know what, I'm rich, and the clubs wouldn't have asked for crazy amounts of money like they did. And I know some people are gonna say, why would you help PSG to spend less money? And the thing is that right now, even if PSG gets penalized, Neymar's not coming back to Barcelona. They lost him already. He's not coming back because of a penalty that UEFA might put in PSG. But even if he leaves for the 222 million euros, right? Tell PSG, hey, you know what? You can take Neymar. It's fine. We are gonna accept the negotiations. It's not gonna be an issue. Just give us a couple of weeks before we sign somebody and then make it official. Simple as that. Find a replacement for Neymar. Try to negotiate with PSG. That is really where the front office fell this year. They just didn't know how to negotiate. After Neymar said, oh, I'm leaving to PSG, they got mad and they tried to fight PSG from the place that they didn't have the advantage, telling PSG that they're not going to negotiate with them and telling them that they're going to have to pay the buyout clause. Telling La Liga not to accept the PSG payment for Neymar, then suing Neymar. It's like, what are you doing? That's like, you're putting a bad image on yourself. They could have handled the Neymar situation a lot better. Even if they lost Neymar, like I said, just try to negotiate different ways to help yourself out. You already lost the player is gone. There's no point of fighting that anymore. Just use your brain brain and learn how to negotiate. Simple as that. Getting mad at PSG didn't give Barcelona anything. And after you got all of that money, like I said, you put a big X on yourself. That made all the clubs know that you had money and also that you were in a hurry to find a replacement for Neymar. And every time that they call a team to ask for a price for a player, all of the teams raised their prices. So the 222 million euros that they were planning to get 3 or 4 players basically didn't work out that way. They couldn't get more than one good player and maybe another average player. And that's what they got. They got Dembele and they got Paulinho with that money basically. So after Neymar left, they wasted their time trying to get Coutinho, Di Maria and Dembele. Obviously they were able to get Dembele, but they definitely overpaid for Dembele. They got Paulinho as well, but I don't really think no one asked for Paulinho. They also got Deulofeu, but they did that in the beginning of the season, and they bought Marlon. So let's move on to the last day of the transfer window. So during that time, Robert Fernandez, the general manager of Barcelona, came out and said that Barcelona is going to make 1 or 2 more signings.
Bueno, estamos trabajando desde hace bastantes días sobre cualquier posibilidad. Igual puede venir un jugador como pueden venir 2. Por lo tanto, tenemos que esperar. Esa es la realidad. Sí es cierto que estamos negociando. Es cierto y lo admito y lo sabéis desde hace bastante tiempo y nos podemos encontrar en una situación, en un marco favorable de poder traer o de poder incorporar un jugador y a lo mejor de poder incorporar a 2.
So everybody was looking at Coutinho and Di Maria being those 2 guys. So obviously the last day of the transfer window, everybody was waiting for Barcelona to announce Di Maria and Coutinho coming to Barcelona. And I even said it that if Barcelona is able to get Di Maria and Coutinho, I'll take back everything bad that I said about the front office. Because by the way that I did the numbers, it just didn't match them being able to have that much money to make those 2 signings. I mean, if you do the numbers right, I said that Barcelona probably had like 70 million euros to start the season as a budget to make transfers. Then they sell Neymar for 222 million euros. Then they sell Teo for 4 million euros. So basically they had around 300 million euros to make a signing. Now let's do the numbers on the players that they buy. So they spend 105 million euros on Dembele. The other 42 million euros are on variables, so they don't have to pay that year, so we don't gotta count that. They spend 12 million euros on Deulofeu. They spend 40 million euros on Paulinho. They spend 30 million euros on Semedo, and they spend around 6 million euros on Marlon. So they basically spend 193 million euros in total. So according to my numbers, they went into the last day of the transfer window with 107 million euros. And I feel like that is the reason why Coutinho didn't come to Barcelona. Basically, they didn't have the money to buy him. The offers that they were making to get Coutinho was 105 million euros plus 60 million euros on variables. That was how they were making those offers, basically trying to pay the money in the future, not to pay the money now, because again, I don't feel like they had the money. I know that in the press conference yesterday, they also came out and said that the reason why they didn't buy Coutinho was because Liverpool was asking for 200 million euros for Coutinho, and that they thought that it was wrong to spend that much money on a player, and that could also put the team at risk financially wise. Again, I think that they're lying. If Barcelona would really had the 200 million euros like they said that they did, they would have paid for Coutinho. If that was really what Liverpool asked for, they would have paid the 200 million euros because they knew that could have saved their positions in Barcelona. You're not gonna tell me that you spend 145 million euros and all of a sudden, the last day of the transfer window, you're like, oh my god, how could I spend that much money on a player? Like, get out of here, dude. I don't believe you. So again, I think that they're lying. I don't believe that they ever had the money to buy Coutinho. And also, Liverpool came out and said that it's not true, that they never asked for 200 million euros, so I don't know. You decide who you believe, honestly. As far as the Di Maria deal, like I told you guys before, I thought that they needed to sell Andres Gomez and Arda Turan in order to make that deal happen. And obviously they had the money to sign Di Maria after that Coutinho transfer didn't happen. But I think that they thought that bringing Di Maria and paying like around 70 or 80 million euros, I think that was what PSG was asking for Di Maria, and helping PSG to meet the fair play financial rules, that would have made the fans even more angry. So that is why I think that they didn't make the Di Maria deal. So that is my timeline for what I think really happened this year during the transfer window for Barcelona. At the end, Barcelona definitely for me has a worse team that they had coming into the transfer window. You basically have the same team that you had last year. The only difference is that you replace Dembele with Neymar, and I think that makes your team even worse. I think Dembele has the potential to become a superstar, but he's not there yet. I hope that he does become one, but definitely the team got worse. There's gonna be another year where basically Barcelona depends on Messi doing everything. I also think it's unfair for the coach, Valverde. I mean, he definitely asked for reinforcements, but he never got them. He asked for Inigo Martinez, but that never happened. So I really don't expect much for Barcelona. I mean, I think that they're definitely going to be competing for La Liga, the Spanish Cup as well. But as far as the Champions League, I don't really see the team getting past the semifinals, honestly. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I hope you guys have a great day, guys. Take care, guys. Peace.